Hello, today we will recap a thriller movie, in which a shy banker obsessed with safes and their intricate mechanisms, gets recruited by a mysterious woman to join a group of thieves for heists across Europe. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel because it is free and simple. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. The story begins with Sebastian, who works at a bank, talking about a man who made really tricky lockers. This guy created 4 of them, but then he did something strange. He locked himself inside one of these lockers. People thought he died, so they threw the locker into the water. But there are still 3 of these special lockers somewhere out there, and nobody knows where. Sebastian, as it happens, creates YouTube videos. One day at the bank where he works, he encounters an upset woman who didn't receive her check. Then while watching TV, he learns about a zombie outbreak in the news. Upon seeing the unfolding chaos on the TV, Sebastian notices the lady in front of him. It appears that the lady who was earlier demanding her check has now turned into a zombie. To swiftly resolve the issue, Sebastian promptly hands her a check. Later, in one of his recent YouTube videos, Sebastian receives a comment inviting him to showcase his skills. Following the provided address, he arrives at a location bustling with people. There he discovers a competition centered around opening a locker, and is invited to take part in it. Sebastian's most recent YouTube video showcased his skill in opening a locker. His day job as a bank cashier has honed these abilities. At the competition, there are several participants, with Sebastian ranking at number 4. Out of these contestants, 2 are chosen for the final round, with Sebastian being one of them. In this decisive stage, both competitors must tackle the challenge of unlocking an exceptionally complex locker, armed with only 180 seconds on the clock. When the countdown begins, Sebastian's fellow competitor immediately starts working on opening the locker. However, Sebastian takes a different approach. He merely observes the locker, not taking any action. With just 30 seconds remaining, he finally places his hand on the locker, feeling its intricacies. In one smooth move, he successfully opens the locker, leaving everyone astonished. This brilliant maneuver secures Sebastian's victory in the competition. During this event, Sebastian also crosses paths with a woman named Gwendoline. She is a professional jewel thief, and Sebastian is instantly captivated by her. The following day, while Sebastian is dining at a restaurant, Gwendoline seeks him out. She confesses to being the one who lured him to the competition through a comment on his YouTube channel. Gwendoline reveals her true profession as a jewel thief, and discloses that she's pursued by law enforcement agencies from numerous countries. She proposes that they collaborate on a major heist. The mission that Gwendoline proposes involves cracking open 3 massive safes containing substantial sums of money. These are the very same safes mentioned at the start of the story. She advises Sebastian to ponder the offer and make a decision. After this conversation, Sebastian returns home, driven by his long-standing desire to unlock these safes. Ultimately, he resolves to support Gwendoline in this endeavor and meets with her. Alongside Gwendoline, there are 3 additional individuals on the team. Together, they embark on a journey to Paris to tackle the first of the safes, located within a bank. They meticulously follow their plan, with Sebastian entering the bank and discreetly hiding in the restroom. Gwendoline, carrying a considerable amount of luggage, smoothly obtains the keys by offering to hand over her bags to the security personnel. With the keys in her possession, she enters the bank. She has a locker in this bank that she's already opened. An employee from the bank accompanies her to her locker and then departs. Following this, Gwendoline leads Sebastian to an elevator that takes them to the location of the safe Sebastian is tasked with opening. Sebastian is thrilled to see the safe, as it fulfills a long-standing desire of his to unlock it. Sebastian skillfully works on the locks, opening each one with precision. With patience and care, he manages to unlock all 3, and the safe door swings open, revealing a substantial amount of money. They quickly transfer the money into bags and make a smooth exit from the bank, thanks to their fellow accomplices who are causing distractions to keep the bank employees occupied. Their first heist is a success. Following this, they set their sights on Prague, where the second safe is located. However, the police become aware of their theft. The police became aware of their heist because Gwendoline's face was captured by the bank's CCTV cameras. Gwendoline is a well-known international thief with a history of evading the law. One of the policemen recalls an encounter with her 5 years ago when she narrowly escaped arrest. Determined not to let her slip through their fingers this time, the police set out to apprehend her. The police follow them to Prague, intent on capturing Gwendoline. However, robbing this bank won't be easy, as it boasts advanced security measures. Fortunately, their team member Korina has managed to hack into the bank's entire system. She creates a fake ID for Sebastian, allowing him to enter the bank. Once inside, they approach a door leading to the safe area, but there's an iron gate blocking their way. Korina instructs Sebastian to pretend to unlock the gate by moving his finger, which will be captured by the security camera. Simultaneously, Korina uses her hacking skills to actually open the door. However, Sebastian's prolonged stay inside the secure area makes the bank's security personnel suspicious. He takes the elevator, where he encounters Gwendoline. Together, they head towards the locker. When the elevator doors open, a security guard is waiting outside. Gwendoline, a skilled fighter, quickly incapacitates the guard. As the group attempts their heist, the bank security catches on to Sebastian's trickery and locks down all the doors. When Korina learns of this development, she sends in their fifth team member, Brad, who also happens to be Gwendoline's boyfriend. Brad enters the bank and takes the bank employees hostage at gunpoint, creating a diversion. Meanwhile, the police officer stationed outside the bank begins to grow suspicious as Gwendoline and her team don't emerge from the bank. He starts heading into the bank to investigate. Inside, the bank's security informs the officer that the safe he's interested in was actually relocated to another bank a week ago. It turns out that the police officer is at the wrong bank. Sebastian reaches the safe inside the bank and attempts to open it. He worries that if he makes a mistake now, the lock will remain closed forever. Despite his concerns, he successfully opens the safe's door, revealing a stash of dollars. They start filling their bags with the money. However, as Brad tries to leave the bank, he encounters security guards who open fire, hitting him in the shoulder. Injured but determined, Brad smashes a window, making his way back to their car. As Brad exits the bank, chaos ensues with people fleeing in fear. Seizing the moment, Gwendoline and Sebastian rush out of the bank. Brad manages to catch Gwendoline and pulls her into the car. He then attempts to do the same with Sebastian, but he suddenly realizes that Sebastian has developed feelings for his girlfriend who might try to steal her away from him. Sebastian finds himself on the road after Brad deliberately lets go of his hand. His friends are equally shocked by this turn of events. To escape the police, Sebastian starts running, and despite the police giving chase, he manages to evade capture. Inside the car, Gwendoline questions her boyfriend's actions, and Brad explains that with plenty of money from their previous heists, they no longer need to steal from the third locker. He also implies that he doesn't want Sebastian around, due to potential romantic competition for Gwendoline. However, Gwendoline is not motivated solely by money, and she decides to leave Brad along with Korina. They visit Sebastian at his home later that night, but Sebastian is furious and asks them both to leave. Gwendoline explains that their motivation isn't just money, they want to make history by opening the third locker. Sebastian agrees, sharing the same desire to unlock that particular vault. Together, they decide to pursue their goal of cracking the third locker. Meanwhile, the police officer becomes aware of Sebastian through his YouTube channel. Observing the comments, he realizes that Sebastian is the fifth member of the gang but lacks a criminal record. The officer sees an opportunity to apprehend the mastermind behind the heists through Sebastian. The story then shifts to Sebastian and his two companions, who have arrived in Switzerland to rob the third locker. This particular locker is located in a club in Switzerland. As the group prepares for their heist in Switzerland, the police officer and his team have also arrived, monitoring the location through cameras and radio communication. Suddenly, the officer hears Korina's voice through their conversation. She is discussing their plan to infiltrate the club and rob the locker precisely at 5 p.m. Hearing this, the police officer enters the club and informs the manager about the impending theft. However, the manager's response surprises him. The manager reveals that they received a call from someone 8 hours ago, warning them about the heist. As a result, they decided to move the locker to another branch of the club, leaving the officer to realize that something is amiss. The club manager had actually called security to relocate the locker, but instead of the security personnel, Gwendoline and Sebastian arrived and successfully took the locker with them. Now the locker is in the possession of Sebastian and Gwendoline, and the police officer is determined to recover it, no matter what. Meanwhile, Brad and his accomplice are on the move, determined to claim their share of the stolen money. Korina notices that Brad is heading towards Gwendoline's location through her surveillance system. She attempts to prevent him, but this is when the police arrive on the scene. However, just before the police can apprehend her, Korina sends a message to Gwendoline warning her that Brad is approaching. She drops her phone, damaging it as it falls beneath a passing vehicle. The police officer manages to capture Korina and begins questioning her about the whereabouts of the locker and Gwendoline's location. Initially, she remains tight-lipped, unwilling to disclose any information. However, when another police officer suggests that they will ensure the well-being of her brother, Korina realizes that they are aware of her brother's existence. Korina deeply cares for her younger brother, and the prospect of him being alone in the world without her prompts her to agree to help the police inspector find Gwendoline. Sebastian and Gwendoline are on the move in a truck. This locker, unlike the previous ones, proves to be quite challenging to crack, as it boasts 7 locks compared to the earlier 3-lock safes. Sebastian grapples with the difficulty of opening the locks while dealing with the truck's constant shaking during the journey. Despite these challenges, he successfully manages to open 6 of the 7 locks, one by one. However, as he's about to tackle the 7th lock, a sudden turn throws him off balance, and he finds himself hanging on the door. Summoning all his control, he somehow manages to unlock the 7th and final lock. He has now opened the 3rd safe, a feat that has never been accomplished before, making it a historic achievement. As they pack the money into bags, Brad suddenly arrives, pointing his gun and demanding his share. Gwendoline firmly declines his request, leading to Brad's frustration. He hates Sebastian and attempts to shoot him, but his pistol is empty. Gwendoline, having anticipated this, reveals her own gun and aims it at Brad, revealing that she never trusted him enough to load his gun with bullets. Defeated, Brad and his partner are tied up and left by the truck, while Gwendoline and Sebastian make their escape in their car. Shortly after, Korina guides the police officer to the truck, resulting in the arrest of Brad and his partner. Meanwhile, Gwendoline and Sebastian are preparing to depart on a steamboat when the police officer appears, pointing his gun at them. Gwendoline counters by offering him money as a bribe, but the officer firmly refuses. He discloses that he's been pursuing Gwendoline for the past 5 years, making it his life's mission to apprehend her. Gwendoline realizes that the police officer is resolute in his pursuit. To strike a deal, she proposes a compromise. She'll surrender herself if he allows Sebastian to go free. The police officer consents to the arrangement. Despite Sebastian's reluctance to leave her, Gwendoline assures him that she'll find him once she's released from jail, and together, they'll locate and unlock the 4th locker, which has been submerged underwater for so long. Sebastian decides to part ways with Gwendoline for now, hoping to reunite in the future. Several years later, Sebastian is in California, where he has established his own locker business. A couple approaches him with a map of a safe and inquires if he can unlock it. Sebastian is elated to see the map, recognizing that it's the safe he and Gwendoline had aimed to open, the 4th safe that had been lost underwater. And with this discovery, the film concludes. So that's for today. Please subscribe to our channel if you like this video, which is the most important way to support us in making more great videos like this.